Jos Verstappen told us a while ago that Red Bull had the risk of being torn apart if Christian Horner was to stay in his position. And now we've had the news confirmed that Adrian Newey is leaving. Let's look at this news and the consequences it will have on the Red Bull F1 team and the people who work there, especially his son Max. Warning: if you're a fan of Christian Horner, I advise you to skip this video. Another warning: if you hate Jos Verstappen, you're better off finding another video. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. Let's quickly go through all the events that led to this moment. I hope I can do it in order so I won't forget half of it. In October 2022, Dieter Mateschitz died. He was part owner of the Red Bull organization and he was the man with the passion for Formula 1. After his death, a power struggle started with the Austrian side wanting different things than the Thai majority side. There was, for instance, the deal with Porsche that was in the cards that would see them buy a huge stake in the F1 team. Horner, Marco and Newey pushed that back because they didn't like this idea. As it turned out, it was Horner who wanted a stake in the companies himself with the backing of the Thai side of Red Bull. This didn't please the Austrian side, so that plan was blocked with Helmut Marko as top advisor, being higher ranked than Horner, firmly on the Austrian side. Horner and Marko had a falling out around the time Helmut Marko made his comments about Mexican driver Sergio Perez, and Horner tried to use this to get Marko out of the way. Marko said that he decided himself when he was leaving and especially not Mr. Horner. And all this time, Max Verstappen was winning race after race. Then last year Horner made some comments about Newey not being the most important member of the design team anymore and that he could walk in and out as Newey pleased. This angered Amanda Newey, Adrian's wife, and she tweeted that it was a load of hogwash. This was the first crack that was noticeable in the friendship of Newey and Horner. A few months ago the news broke that Horner was to be investigated for a complaint of controlling behavior, and some news outlets went as far as to say it was of a sexual nature too. An independent barrister looked at the evidence and the complaint was dismissed. Right after that, a file was leaked to all the major news outlets with the alleged evidence which contained photos of chat messages. What became clear was that there was kind of a chess game going on behind the scenes to get rid of Horner. And that's when Jos Verstappen came out with his first warning. He said that he sympathized with the woman and that as long as Horner stayed in that position, the risk was there of the team being torn apart. Right after that, Jos Verstappen was talking to Toto Wolff, who needs to replace Lewis Hamilton, who's leaving for Ferrari next season. There was also an instant where it looked like Helmut Marko was about to be fired, but Max Verstappen's loyalty to Helmut Marko prevented that. Max Verstappen basically said that if the key people stayed there was no reason to leave, and that includes Helmut Marko. Another few months went by and talk about Max Verstappen leaving died down somewhat until recently the rumors came out that Newey had handed in his resignation. These rumors were confirmed on Wednesday the 1st of May. Newey will quit his activities on the F1 team straight away and he will continue working on the RB17 hypercar until the first quarter of 2025. What he will do after that is unknown. The speculations are high, but that's another video. And now Jos Verstappen has come out with more comments. He said in the Telegraph, the team is under threat to fall apart. This is what I feared earlier this year. For internal peace, it's important for the key figures to stay on board. That's not the case now. Earlier this season, it looked like Helmut was going to be sent away. For the future, this isn't good. I think Jos Verstappen is right. Red Bull is a mess and it's all pointing at Horner and the Thai side. I know the Verstappens are people of their word, and with everything that has been said by them over the last few months, it's clear that they're preparing a move away from Red Bull. This in itself is pretty exciting. New merch to buy, a new team to build up for Max Verstappen. It's such a pity that all this political stuff is forcing people's hands instead of things running the natural course. I wonder what bombshell news is next. It seems like before every race weekend we have all kinds of off-track stuff to deal with. In any case, it's all very interesting, sometimes more interesting than what happens on track. What's also really interesting is for you to subscribe. Take care now, doei doei!